This is the Good Government Show.
I've been working with people all my life, and I love it. There's not a day I'm not smiling. What we did not do is we didn't take billboards out and say, look, this is what we did. We just go to work and we get our job done. I can't say to somebody, you have a crisis, we're not going to help you. Good government is one that is not a political party. People sometimes love to be lied to, vote for me and I will. And they're not going to. They can't. Did you do your homework? Did you vote according to who is the best person that you think would do the best job?
Some people just don't know the meaning of the word retirement. Phil Armstrong is one of those guys. Upon leaving his county executive role, he moved on to lead the County Executives of America. His work in public service is far from over. Welcome to the Good Government Show. I'm Dave Martin. First, help us share the message of good government by liking us and sharing us where we are on all your favorite social media. Be sure to review us and send our show everywhere. We all need to talk about good government. Phil and I talked about his 8 years as county executive of Lehigh County. I asked, was Lehigh Valley better after his 8 years? It was, he said. What impressed me about the conversation was this. He went back to the same theme. Government is not about party politics. It's about getting the work done, and he did the work. Listen to what he says about what he calls pothole politics. Oh, and I failed my citizenship test. You'll hear. Anyway, coming up, former Lehigh County Executive Phil Armstrong. We have a new partner here on the Good Government Show, HelloNation. This is a new digital magazine that showcases the best of cities across the nation. We'd all prefer if good news traveled faster. At HelloNation, positive stories don't just get told, they get amplified. HelloNation helps businesses, leaders, and communities share positive stories that matter, building trust, credibility, and meaningful connection. Through professionally produced podcasts, digital features, and targeted distribution, HelloNation positions you as the answer regular folks are looking for, while expanding and scaling your digital footprint across the platforms that people trust. Good news deserves momentum. Your city or your business can help spread the word of good news across the nation. At HelloNation, they don't just have advertisers, they have advertisers. Editorial content from trusted community leaders and cities that are helping spread the good news. Let HelloNation lift you up and lead the conversation. Visit HelloNation.com to learn more. Once you wrap up this episode of the Good Government Show, give a listen to our friends over at Good News for Lefties. This daily podcast highlights news stories that show there's more good news out there. Other people in government are really trying to do the right thing. That's Good News for Lefties. Listen where you're listening now. Welcome back to Phil Armstrong, the former county executive for Lehigh County, Pennsylvania, and now you're the executive director of the County Executives of America. Phil, my friend, welcome back.
Why, thank you. It's great being back. I didn't know I'd end up being back here.
You're another guy I've met in public service who doesn't understand the meaning of the word retirement.
Absolutely not. But
what happens to you people?
Well, you know what?
What?
It's something that I think, I was a teacher for 40 years.
Right.
I've been working with people all my life, and I love it. There's not a day I'm not smiling. Because
I can attest to that, ladies and gentlemen. I've never not seen you smile.
Well, and that's it. When you're doing what you love, and I want to keep doing it. Okay. And that's why I'm still doing it now, just with some other things.
All right. And is everyone in your family okay with you continuing in public service?
Absolutely. They're
Good.
Very supportive. Very.
Get out of the house.
Yeah. Well, my wife, she's with me.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
She comes to all
a lovely woman we've met.
Yes. Yeah. She definitely is my companion and my better half.
Yes, agreed. So let's just first talk a little bit about, you were 8 years as county executive. Did you leave Lehigh County better than you was when you got there?
Well, you know what? It was a tough 8 years. We had COVID.
Yeah.
We had
piece of cake. Nothing to worry about.
Right.
Everything was simple.
But the thing is, yes, we left with a $25 million rainy day fund in the budget.
That's not nothing. Okay.
And we left with a balanced budget. We got the job done. We worked very, very well. When I first got in, the board was the other party. We worked very well together. And I think it's been on Facebook lately. There's some fighting going on now with the new guy, but we were very collaborative with what we did.
Democrats and Republicans working together in Lehigh, Pennsylvania.
My first objective was to get away from Democrats and Republicans.
Okay.
And
is that hard to do?
It is. It took about 2 years.
Really?
Yes, it did, because there was some bad feelings, I guess, before the administration before me. And the board was an R, he was a D, and they followed that fighting when I got in. And I just kept saying, well, what do you want? And if we do what you want, we can compromise. And we did. There were a number of compromises. But that's what government...
Did it hurt?
Not really.
Okay.
As long as you have an objective and you're getting toward that objective, that's what counts. What counts is the citizens of the county. And my huge thing is, don't sit on a board and have 12 people come to a meeting and yell at you and change everything. The county has a couple of 100,000 people.
Okay.
You always need to have that as your number one priority. What's the best for all the people? And it has nothing to do with party.
Well, I've heard this from many, a county commissioner or a city mayor. I don't care whether there's an R next to your name or a D next to your name. I want the pothole on my street fixed.
Absolutely. We call it pothole politics, but my feeling was definitely politics is local.
Right.
They know where I live. They go to church with me.
You probably taught half the kids in county anyway.
Well, and that pretty much is the correct answer.
Yes.
But that means that you're facing these people, and you better do what's right, or you're not going to be around for that second term.
There was a movie out called Mr. Holland's Opus. Richard Dreyfuss plays a music teacher for 40 years, and he's at a city commission meeting, and he looked at him and he says, one of the county commissioners or city councilman, he goes, well, like I told you in class, do it again, get it again, make it right.
Yeah, and it is so rewarding though when you get these things accomplished. We went into senior homes in the state being closed that are owned by counties.
Right.
Instead of closing mine or privatizing it, I put on a new 4-story addition. Sad part, it quite not open yet, but we expanded it in a time when everybody else was getting out of the business. I think there's only 13 counties now out of 67, but that was a priority. And how do we get that accomplished? And how do we get that across the finish line? Well, we did. And it should be open by this summer now.
What's your proudest accomplishment in your 8 years as county commissioner for Lehigh County?
I was very, very proud of the senior home expansion.
Okay.
I was very proud that we saved the Iron Pigs, because Major League Baseball hit us with a, we're leaving unless you spend this much money and do these things for your stadium. And that's where you really see cooperation in Lehigh Valley. I got the Chamber of Commerce. Tony Iannelli was outstanding. He stepped up to help us. I got the County of Northampton to step in with the donation. I got Lehigh County. Pat Brown was with the state at the time as a state senator. He stepped up and got us millions of dollars. And when we put that package together, we saved the pigs, which 3 years in a row is the number one attendance team in that minor leagues.
Really?
Yeah. And
that's the International League AAA.
Yeah. And that's, our market is not quite the size of some of the others. And
you're batting above your weight. You're hitting above your weight.
So for us to say, well, and I had some people to say, to hell with them, let them go. Well, we own the stadium.
Well, and I just want to add, it is a beautiful stadium. I've been to Iron Pigs games.
It is.
It is fantastic. No seat is bad.
No, and they're upgrading every year. They've done things.
The ticket prices are reasonable, and half these players are going to play in the major leagues have been.
Yes, and even the owners stepped up and helped us. So it was quite a...
And you got a little outfield for families to run around in the back?
Yeah, and now we have cabanas out there, which will be new for this year.
So we got to catch a game this summer.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
Definitely.
All right. We'll have our good government show, our company outing again at an Iron Pigs game.
But see, your day-to-day things, we have a new mental health facility up in the northern part of the county, something that was never there before. There's so many things that you're not patting yourself on the back. Well, this is what we did today. This is what we're going to do tomorrow. But the fact is, every day we try to do something that makes our county a better place to live.
One of the challenges that you had as county executive, and I know from being in Allentown so often, is this is a huge growth market. How do you responsibly manage growth? And how did you responsibly manage growth?
Well,
because there's somebody right now in traffic going, I hate this place. There's too much traffic. This is terrible. There's somebody right now listening who's stuck in traffic and blaming you.
And, if they're on Route 22, and I understand, I've been there myself.
Okay.
Well, again.
You mean the county executive has to sit in traffic like everybody else?
Yeah.
All right.
But this is why I'm now Senior Vice President of the National Association of Regional Councils. That's where the highway money comes to your area.
Okay.
That's where the bridge money, the safe streets money come. When the Lehigh Valley Planning Commission announces that they've gotten this $5 million grant or this $11 million grant, this is where it comes from. One of the last things I did with 2 weeks left in my office, I got together with Senator Miller and we came up with enough funding to go to phase 2 to the rail study. If you want a rail line someday,
yes,
you've got to first do step 1. We've done.
Well, our friend Christian Lineback, I'm sure, can kind of tell us all about that.
Okay. Well, we've done step 1.
Yes.
And now here's the financial. This needed to be for step 2. Lehigh County stepped up. We stepped up to do a regional housing study. It was $400,000, but we stepped up to do it. And it's going to be out pretty soon, published, and it's going to be a fantastic thing for people who are moving to the area. Where are the houses needed? What kind of houses? We even have...
What kind of houses? Let's talk about that for a minute, because that's really maybe the biggest issue in housing is what kind of housing we're building, right?
Yes, and we have partnered with a developer who specializes in low-income housing. And we have, number 1, I've sold him a parking lot on 7th and Walnut for him to build a new one. Up the street in Walnut, he's in the process of building another one. And we started it, and they just finished. They're going to do low-income housing up in the Slatington area.
And how does this help long-term Allentown residents?
It helps the entire valley, because what happens, you have a homeless problem. You have a homeless problem, you have a crime problem, you have all kinds of things. You have to get them into a resident. This is what we've been concentrating on. And I'm sure the new administration will continue. But what we did not do is we didn't take billboards out and say, look, this is what we did. We just go to work and we get our job done. We don't need to pat ourselves on the back for it. But there's a shortage of it. And you have to look, we are number 3 in the state for percentage of farmland preservation versus the size of our county. So again, Dave, this is the important thing, balance. Our rails to trail. I got a $22 million grant to extend the trail from Allentown up through to Whitehall. That took 3 years of begging, going to...
I want to ask you about that, because that's another issue. Citizens see these plans like $2 million, $3 million for a long-term strategy plan, and they look at this. Why is the county paying $3 million? Why is the city paying $2 million to get a strategic plan? And I never see the results. Well, you've heard that argument, right?
Yeah. Anybody, and it's something. Once you're in government moves at the speed of, and that's just where I'll stop.
At the speed of,
You know what? It just
Wile E. Coyote.
It took us basically 3 years for that grant. Now that trail is still not open, because even after you get the grant, now the environmental studies, now where's the sewer lines, now how do you, and I was hoping to be on that trail and cutting it as county exec. It just doesn't happen. If somebody thinks the government, hey, I want this done tomorrow, I'm sorry, I'd love to do it tomorrow, but that rarely happens.
It just doesn't move as fast as you'd like.
You have to go through these steps. I mean, that is...
Are they important steps? Are they vital steps?
Oh, no, they're steps that the federal government, the state government both put in your path.
When I keep hearing from different people I've talked to at different levels of government is that if you don't have a plan, you're making a mistake. That's not the word he would use, but we'll go with that. Okay. How important is something like the National Association of Regional Councils?
What you have to do, Dave, and this is the important thing, having a plan you must have the data to go with the plan to prove this is why you need this. Now, we just got the new grant for widening 22, which from Airport Road to Whitehall. Now, obviously, everybody knows who said on 22, we need it. But unless we did traffic studies, unless we put a plan together, unless we show the data of this, you don't get the money. You have to do all of this work to get this.
Now, you have stepped down as the county executive, 8 years, 2 terms, term limited out, and you're now the executive director of the County Executives of America, a lofty title, if I may say so. What the heck does that mean?
Well, there are almost 700 and some counties that have executives in the United States. And at NACO, as great as NACO is, it really is, it's everybody. It's controllers, treasurers, and the whole bit.
Right.
And back in the 1990s, county executives, and we get along great with NACO, but we are just county executives. Now, in some states, they're called judges, they're called mayors, a name or a title, but it's same.
What are they called in Kentucky? It's a great name.
I think they're the judge.
Judge advocate, judge general or something like that. Yeah,
I think they're the judge.
Right.
Well, I know the one.
Police jurors of Louisiana.
Yes, yeah. And we have members from all over the United States. And we meet because basically we had just had a meeting yesterday at the University of Maryland for the new people that just got elected.
Okay.
For example, Jeff and Larry, both county executives in Tennessee. Between the two of them, 98 years as county executives. Obviously, no term limits. But for you to be able to sit down with them, they've gone through everything. Just those kind of relationships, to have that helping hand, the problems for just people who are in county executive. We all have jails. A lot of us have nursing homes and airports and things like that. We have a lot of things in common. When the federal government cuts funding, I was in the White House 2 weeks ago meeting with their intergovernmental relations person as a county executive director, saying, look, here's what counties need. And again, no party, no whether you like who's president or not. Here are the facts. You're the person that determines this money that goes. We're the ones that have to handle these programs.
How is the county executive role different than just being a county commissioner?
Well, again, only basically 4 counties have an elected county executive.
Okay.
The counties that have county commissioners, there's just 3, 2 in one party and 1 in the other, where I have a board of 9, well, I had a board of 9 commissioners. It's kind of like a mayor, city council.
Okay.
It's a home rule. I think it's a better way of doing it because it's got checks and balances.
Okay. What are you doing? What slack are county executives having to pick up now, especially in light of where things stand with the federal government and their cooperation with local government?
Well, let's put it this way. Before we met with the intergovernmental relations guy a couple of weeks ago, the counties were set to get 35% of funding for our mental health programs.
Yes.
We ended up getting 60%.
Oh.
So
that's
was
helpful.
The meeting successful?
I would say so.
Yeah. But did we get exactly what we'd like? No. Now, where's that other coming from? Well, we can't, I can't say to somebody, you have a crisis, we're not going to help you. That's the bottom line where counties are. When the ARPA funds went out, they went right to counties because that administration kind of knew the counties were on the front lines.
All right. Well, that was the easy part. We're going to get to the hard questions in just a minute. The Good Government Show is sponsored by Our. That's OUR for Our Community. Get involved. We hear that all the time from government leaders. Our co-brands with your government's name and logo. Your staff and the people you serve are connected and part of your community. From any device, your members provide reliable data and meaningful feedback. Ask a question like, do we want more parkland or better homeless services? More engaged conversations come through the Our app. Visit Ourco, that's OURCO.com, and book a demonstration. After you get done with this episode, hear more good government stories with our friends at How to Really Run a City. Former mayors Kasim Reed of Atlanta and Michael Nutter of Philadelphia, and their co-host, journalist and author Larry Platt, talk with guests and other mayors about how to really get stuff done in cities around the nation. Check them out where you're listening now or through their nonprofit news site, thephiladelphiacitizen.org/podcasts. We've asked you these questions before, but we have a few new ones.
Okay.
And I have a feeling we're going to talk about one thing we talked about the last time. So 8 years as Lehigh County Executive, currently Executive Director of the County Executives of America. I'm sure you can do this easily. Define good government.
Good government is one that is not a political party. Good government is one that listens to what is the best for the people they represent, not for a small group or not to the person who gave them the money to run. You know, I don't like the fact I think good government's getting spoiled by campaign contributions. You take a lot of money to get in, you're going to be asked to do favors. And that might not be the best thing for your area. I think I only had like 30,000 when I ran. And I didn't spend 18 of it. I had left over. I just don't think that's the way government should work. But I do think it means that you're listening to your people. Doesn't mean you say okay to everything. Be honest with them, which people sometimes love to be lied to. You know, vote for me and I will. And you know they're not going to. You know they can't. Okay. But you vote for them thinking that, and it doesn't happen.
Good government is not Democrat or Republican. Is that what you said?
Absolutely.
Good government is not Democrat. That is the best answer I've heard in 180 episodes of the Good Government Show. Thank you.
It's been my mantra since I've been in public office.
What would you like the people of Allentown and Lehigh Valley to do if they don't like what they see from government, from the city hall, from the county offices? What should they do?
Vote. And the trouble is, just don't go in and vote because, well, this party must be the best party. Again, I'm anti that.
Yep.
Know who you're voting for. You know, I taught government for 40 years. I would tell my students, number one, if you don't know who to vote for, don't vote. I don't want somebody elected that you put in office not even knowing who they were. Know it, research it, this is what we fought for. This is what democracy is about. But it's the fact that you've got to know if you're putting somebody in office and then you're saying, oh my God, well, did you do your homework? Did you vote according to who is the best person that you think would do the best job?
You said you taught government for 40 years. One of the things I hear across the nation from lots of people, both in office and out of office, is a lack of civics education in schools. How do you bring that back?
Well, in 2010, I was a lobbyist in Washington, D.C. for 1 week for social studies education because everything has been STEM. You know, all of these standardized tests that students have to take now to get out of high school. There is not one social studies test. In 2010, in the spring, the state of Pennsylvania paid me and a superintendent and a college professor to write an exam for social studies to be taken by every 10th grader. So if they didn't pass it, they could take it again. And then we spent 3 days in Harrisburg. They wined and dined us, but we worked.
Yeah.
We wrote that exam. Guess where that is right now? It's in some filing cabinet. Never, ever.
Give me 2 questions. Come on.
Well,
I always take the citizenship test when it's in the paper to see how I do. I usually do okay.
How many amendments are there in the Constitution?
How many amendments?
Yes.
Total today?
Yes.
I don't know.
Well, there you go. You flunked.
34.
No, it would be a multiple choice.
Okay,
No.
Right. How many are there?
27.
34. I was in the ballpark. A little high, but I was there.
But the idea of understanding how does an amendment happen? I don't know if people even know what a county executive is.
No,
in Allentown.
They don't. Somebody said once, there's some kid out there dreaming of being president or governor or senator. Nobody's dreaming of being a county commissioner. So, yes.
Well, and you know what? And that's what I kind of loved about the job. When I went into it, I knew it was not going to be a stepping stone.
Okay.
I didn't do 3 years and then run for this or 5 years and run for that. I said, look, this is a great job. Pat Brown, former state senator from Allentown, once said to me, the most important job in the county is the county executive.
Sure.
And it really is. And I thought that's what I wanted to do.
What would you like people in Allentown and the Lehigh Valley and across the nation to know about government that they probably don't know?
Well, you know what? It's their local government that is taxing them probably the most. Their school board for running the schools, their towns, their townships for their garbage collections and for the things. And yet the worst voter turnout is on local elections. Everybody turns out when a president's up.
Right.
But the people that are going to affect your life the most, those are your local people. And those are the people that you stay home for. You know, if you get
Is it county executive an on-year or off-year election?
Off-year.
So it is. So it's between the presidential elections.
Yeah.
Any effort to change it?
That has to go through Harrisburg. Let me know the last time Harrisburg changed. You want to talk about things that don't move quickly.
All right. So
okay.
So we're going to move on. This summer, we're coming to an Iron Pigs game. I'm getting the gang together. Where are you taking us? What are we having us? What's the Lehigh dish? And you can't say scrapple.
Okay. Well, you know, pretzels, soft pretzels are Philadelphia right through to Allentown with some mustard on the side. But at the Iron Pigs, it has to be some kind of a hot dog and pork sandwich. You know, that's pretty much what they're famous for there. They do have a great menu. And you know what? This summer, Pennsylvania 250, which I'm on that committee too, I will be John Adams at the Iron Pig Stadium on July 3rd. And we're going to have a $75,000 fireworks drone show that night for Pennsylvania 250. So you might want to come to see that.
All right. Where do you get your news?
Where do I get my news? Podcast, local radio, Morning Call. I've got a subscription to Morning Call.
Good.
Very disappointed that it's less and less and less. And
hey, listen, you're still getting the paper delivered at home. Thank you on behalf of newspaper reporters everywhere.
That's and I have the East Penn Press. I also get the weekly press.
All right, so this is the Good Government Show. We always bring it back to good government. Tell me about a good government project in your town, in your city, in your county that you've had a hand in that you're excited about.
Oh, wow.
Or something you got coming up that you're looking forward to.
I was very, very excited about, I used to bring kids in from all of the school districts and have a student government day.
Good.
Again, civics, trying to let them introduce bills and see things like that. That I was proud of doing. But what I was really proud of doing is, Dave, every year for my 8 years, even when I was a lame duck, I went to we have 25 municipalities in Lehigh County.
Okay.
And I went to their public meeting at least once a year. You know, Albertus to Slatington to Weisenberg Township. And you know what? That meant a lot when they see me. And I went there just to basically tell them what's going on, but mostly answer their questions. And, hey, we need a stoplight here, or it's your bridge, but at the other time is our... Got a stop sign for them. You know?
And that matters when people see government like being responsive to little things like a stop sign.
Yeah, and when you show up at a small little rural township meeting, and they love it. Albertus, I love going over there, and all of and you made connections with those people, and that was important.
Phil Armstrong, the former 8-year county executive for Lehigh County, the current executive director for County Executives of America, leading the charge for county executives across the nation, and through the National Association of Regional Councils, helping other people plan better.
That's very important.
We have to talk about what retirement's all about, but I have a feeling it won't be anytime soon. Hey, Phil, a friend of the show, it's always a pleasure to talk to you. Great to have you back. See you in Allentown.
Thank you very much, and I'm always going to be around if you need me.
Good.
Okay.
Thank you. Want to hear more about good government? Check out another show I host, Leading Iowa, Good Government in Iowa Cities. I host the show with Brad Kavanaugh, mayor of Dubuque, Iowa, and the immediate past president of the Iowa League of Cities. Together, we talk to leaders in Iowa cities. We talk about what works and what good government looks like in Iowa. Join us right here where you're listening now. That's Leading Iowa, Good Government in Iowa Cities. It was called the War to End All Wars, but it didn't. 3 royal cousins, all kings, one from England, one from Germany, and one from Russia, blundered their way into a war, a completely avoidable war that left millions dead in the trenches across Europe. Good Government Show executive producer Jim Ludlow details the blunders, mistakes, and bluster that started World War I that didn't end all wars. The book The Royal Cousins details the events and creates an alternative history. Imagine if World War I never happened. It didn't have to. Just read it yourself. Download the book today on Amazon. It's just 99 cents and a timely look at history. Vote, but do your homework. Know who you're voting for, Phil Armstrong said. Don't just vote for the guy because of the D or the R next to his name. And if you haven't studied up on the candidates, well, don't vote. This is an excellent lesson in citizenship. Local elections matter. They certainly affect you more directly. So listeners, make sure you vote. It's the only way to get the people you want in office and remove the people you don't want. Bill Armstrong is John Adams. Now, that's a sight worth seeing. Go get your Iron Pigs tickets. Grab a pretzel, don't forget the mustard, and then pick up a pork sandwich. That sounds like a great way to catch a baseball game this summer at Coca-Cola Park. Hey, it's baseball season. Well, that's our show. Thanks for listening. Please like us and share us with your friends and review us right here where you're listening. And check out our website, goodgovernmentshow.com, for extras. Help us keep telling stories of good government in action everywhere. Join us again for another episode right here. I'm Dave Martin, and this is The Good Government Show. Batter up. The Good Government Show is a Valley Park production. Jim Ludlow, Dave Martin, that's me, and David Snyder are the executive producers. Our show is edited and produced by Jason Stershic. Please subscribe, then share us, and like us and review us. That's the best way to make sure we're able to keep telling these stories of our government working for all of us. Then listen to the next episode of The Good Government Show.
This podcast is part of the Democracy Group,